would and not as dynamic as I normally would. But so bear with me on that. But so as we were mentioning, the topic of this session and for all the speakers that are going right now during this hour really is this idea of blending data sources. So we're at a mobile research conference. We're talking about innovative approaches such as mobile research. We're also talking about traditional approaches. And I've been coming to a lot of these conferences over the years, and what I've noticed is there's a lot of hot takes. So you have a lot of people that come up and say, the online panel's dead. No, mobile research is the only way to go. Well, I'm in the online sample business, so I can assure you that it's not dead. And you also have people that tell you that market research is one of the slowest industries to adopt all these newer innovative approaches that we are constantly the first to talk about. And I don't necessarily believe that's the case either. I mean, we are sitting in a room with a lot of very disruptive companies. You guys are at the forefront of our industry, and we've been innovating newer approaches for years and years and years here. So that's really where the topic came from today. And quick question for the room here. I'm going to throw out a couple polls at you. Is there anyone in the room from Northern California? Very back. So what's the slang term that everyone uses in Northern California that's used most, that you know? You guys probably know it right away. Not quite. Hella. H-E-L-L-A. So they use it for everything. That's hella cool. It's hella hot outside. My 60-year-old dad sent me a text message telling me how he was hella excited to come down to San Diego to visit me. So, and I'm going to challenge you right now that if the one thing you take away from this presentation is that hella is the most annoying word in the world, I'm not going to be upset. You can tweet it, you can send that out there. It's a great thing to take away from this. But to put that into context of mobile research and where we're at, so when I moved to San Diego about 10, 15 years ago, I moved down for college. I had a small female roommate at the time. She's about 5'2", 110 pounds, and I was a big perpetrator of the word hella. So I told her, if you hear me say hella, I want you to hit me in the shoulder. Thinking that, 5'2", 110 pounds, it wouldn't be that hard. The first time I said hella, I ended up with a fat lip. And as I was sitting there with this bag of frozen peas on my lip trying to get the swelling down, I thought to myself, 15 years, 20 years down the road, remember this moment, because you're going to want to break some bad habits in your life. And one of the bad habits that I want to break these days is using this term, mobile research, because it is a very ambiguous term. If you're on the supplier side, like a lot of you guys in this room are, you've been asked a zillion times, do you do mobile research? Well, what does that mean? There's so many different approaches that are out there today. We really want to get into the specifics of how are our clients and how are the brands that we're working for leveraging mobile research. So there's a couple different methodologies that we have experimented with that we tend to like, but by no means are we limited to these methodologies I'm going to walk through. But just really quickly, how many people in the room, I think this room's probably a little biased, but how many people in the room have done mobile surveys here? Pretty much the entire room. So usually when I ask that question, probably about 50% of the room has done so. And my response to the 50% who haven't is, guess what? If you've done an online research survey, you've done a mobile survey. Because we're actually finding that in research on research that's being done, about 40% of all online research respondents are taking their surveys on mobile devices. So that's really good news for us if we're looking to be really innovative. And the weird thing that we're finding is we've all been taught 5 minutes maximum is what people will do on a mobile device. That's not the case anymore. People are doing 20-minute surveys. There are companies out here that are creating conjoint exercises that can be done on mobile devices. So really, as far as being disruptive and getting to people at the point of experience, market research is on the forefront of doing that. I didn't even realize that there's a monitor down here for me. That makes things easier. So the second methodology I want to touch on is digital capture. And so what I like about digital capture is you actually get really qualitative insights in a quantitative manner. So for instance, if you're just fielding an online survey and you ask respondents to go and take a video of their experience in the store, you're getting that point of experience that we keep on talking about is the point of mobile. And so when you combine that with traditional research approaches like surveys or qualitative data, you're getting that really deep insights into what and why people are doing. And then throwing in other methodologies, we'll just skim through these really quick because I'm curious about my time here, but geofencing is one that we've leveraged a lot in addition to the digital capture. So sending people to a Target store, saying to them, hey, once you walk into the store, we want you to take a video of the Garnier Fructis in the shampoo aisle. Tell us what stands out about that. Or take a photo of yourself cooking at home. We've all seen different case studies with these types of approaches in there. And the last approach I'm going to touch on here is passive metering. So this approach has gained a lot of traction lately, particularly with brands and advertisers who are interested in understanding exactly what people are doing and how they're interacting with their content and why they're doing it. So, for instance, if you're a company like Meow Mix and you know that your core target audience is watching 8 cat videos on YouTube a day, where are you going to place your advertising? On those cat videos, right? So when you combine this newer approach and any of the other approaches that we've talked about here with more traditional approaches like survey research, you're getting really richer insights into what your target audiences are doing, why they're doing it, and in my opinion, all the magic is happening when we're combining all of these newer insights with these traditional insights. And that's exactly what we did for this. So we did a case study with a client called Vincent Longo. And just so you know a little bit about them, they're a niche makeup and cosmetics company. And when they called us up, the first thing they told us was they really didn't have a clue as to what role things like niche formulas, or physicians' formulas, and being a niche brand actually played in the makeup purchasing process. And my response to them was, I actually have no idea either, because I've never bought makeup in my life, although the glare off the lights off my bald head might help. But one of the things that we thought about, and as we were talking with Vincent Longo, was they said to us, we've done survey research a zillion times. We know who our core audience is. We don't know why they're making their decisions in the store. So we need more insights than just some data, some survey data telling us that our core audience does this, that, and the other. So the first thing we thought of was we need to leverage that point of experience that you can get with mobile to actually get into why people are buying products and why they're not buying Vincent Longo products versus other products. So you know about them. They are only right now in Walgreens stores at the Look boutiques. So that was one of the questions that they had was, can they getting to other stores and getting into other markets, and whether they should stick with the stores like Walgreens and CVS, or if they should go to higher end stores like Sephora's or other makeup stores that are out there. So for this case study, we surveyed a little over 100 women who spend at least $20 a month on cosmetics. And we asked them questions around their shopping habits, their preferences, their brand awareness. And then we gave them a few different mobile missions. So we asked them to take pictures of their makeup drawers, their cabinets, wherever they were keeping their makeup. And then we asked them to go to the store and shop for makeup. And while doing so, take a quick video of that experience so we can get a little bit more info into what they like, what they don't like, what stands out. And this is some of the things that we found out. So this looks familiar, right? We've all seen survey data, and we've all made really big decisions for our companies and our clients based on this type of data. This is unbelievably important stuff, even though we're looking at this and saying, what does it mean, right? So for instance, some of the things we found out here was important factors in the makeup purchase process are having a good product selection. So different brands have to have a lot of variety in their products, different colors. And one of the other things that we found out was whether or not a product is on sale or there's coupons available that they can access via their mobile device while in the store. These actually play a role in the process. And the last thing, knowing that the store that they're shopping at is convenient to get to. Tells you it's a little easier to get to a CVS or a Rite Aid than it is to get to a Sephora that may be at the mall 10, 15 miles away, right? So this is a good start to the story, but this isn't the whole story. So that's why when we added mobile to the why data we were getting from the survey, we got even more insights into what the makeup shopping process actually looks like for these respondents. So for them, it was really important to know, and as our client mentioned earlier, they've done survey, so they wanted to know, does the point of experience in the store actually back up the data that they're getting from the survey? Or could there have been something that we didn't think of in the makeup purchasing process that having a more intimate, more personal, more visual data was going to help us uncover? And it's really important to keep in mind here when we talk about survey data, as much as we love survey data, you only get answers to the questions that you ask. So getting that more mobile experience is going to give you those richer insights. So for this study in particular, the mobile methodology we leveraged was digital capture. So we asked the respondents to take 2 pictures of their current makeup supply, their makeup drawer, whatever it is they wanted to call it, and then we asked them to go to a Look boutique in a Walgreens store and take video of that shopping experience. And the results were fun to look at. So first finding here is you ladies take a lot of good care of your makeup. So everything here was extremely nicely organized. And one of the things that we talk about, and I hear said at a lot of these conferences, is we want to sit at the table, right? We want to sit with the C-level people. We want to help them make the decisions that are going to drive their business. This does that. I give a quick example of what happened is when we were presenting this to our client, who was the CMO, the first thing he did was he stopped us. He went and grabbed his new product development person, and he said to them, I need you to come in here and I need you to look at this. And the idea they came up with as we were sitting in the room was that Vincent Longo needed to be making makeup bags and organizing cases because that's an untapped market that is clearly in need in this area. I mean, this is such a nicely organized view of what people are doing, and they had the opportunity to really tap that area. The second insights we gathered from this was this completely backed up the data that we got from the survey that suggested it's really important to have variations in makeup products. So nearly every photo here, and I know you guys can't see them too well because they're a little far away, but every photo we looked at had 3 or 4 different colors of lipstick, a few different types of blush or mascara. So really, as we discovered in the survey, there are a lot of variations in the products that makeup customers want to buy. Now, these are all really good insights, but even more comes when you take a look at the videos here. So this is actually just a quick example of the portal that we gave our client, and one of the things that we built for them was this back end. They can go in and they can tag the videos, they can code their videos, they can link them to a unique respondent ID, so again, blending that traditional insight with the more innovative approach. And the results that we got from this were a lot of fun to look at, so if you can play the video really quickly.
Here's a new kind of stuff that I've never seen before, Malani. Ooh, it looks good. Let's see. Looks creamy. That's what I'm looking for today. I'm looking for a blush.
This is like my favorite brand, is the Physician Formula. Next favorite one is L'Oreal. I love how they are mature and sophisticated, and I really love the nail polish.
But the one that most stood out for me is the mascara. When it comes to mascara, I want it to be something that'll last long. It could either be waterproof, or it could either be different kind of brush.
CoverGirl is more for like the younger people. You can see by the colors.
Color sensational. I mean, this is a girl's best friend.
So if you can make that out, this is really juicy stuff here, right? So what we're getting here is really strong insights into how these customers are viewing a brand's unique personality, and each brand has a unique personality, and Vincent Longo wanted to know what theirs was. And frankly, I would have had no idea that customers view L'Oreal as sophisticated and mature, or that things like Physicians Formula actually are playing a role in the purchase process. I had no idea physicians spend their free time making cosmetics formulas, so that was news to me too. Really exciting stuff. So we learned a lot here, and terms like creamy and color sensational, being a girl's best friend. These are the terms our client needs to be using when they're actually marketing their products in the stores. So remember earlier when our client wondered if the niche formulas played a role? We actually heard that in here totally unaided. So without actually telling them to say niche formula, they said niche formula. So backs up that data and that hypothesis that we had earlier. So we got all these insights, but what's next? So what? What do we do with that? And that's really where the true aha of combining the traditional approaches with the newer approaches comes in. So from our business standpoint, our clients already taken a couple different actions that they gathered from the research that we did for them. So from the survey data, they decided they can influence the trial of their product in stores by actually offering online coupons on sites like Retail Me Not and driving people to get to a store. And from the photos they gathered that showed all the variants in the different products that their target audience had been looking at, our clients realized that they needed to focus on a few unique categories and put a lot of variation into that. So they built mascaras, they built lipsticks, and they kept it to a very small amount of different products that they were going to offer, and just offered a lot of different colors. Lastly, from the videos, they were able to decide that when someone is in a store shopping for a makeup product, language and perception are actually going to matter. They need to really focus on what language they're putting on their packaging. So things like being sophisticated or having those niche formulas that we talked about earlier. The videos showed us these buzz terms actually do matter there. So I got one more video here I'm going to show you. This is a quick marketing video.
For me, I generally look for darker tomatoes because I think that they're a lot more juicy.
And I usually always use a Vino.
I really like that it's from a brand name that I know.
I haven't seen a Walmart knockoff of that yet.
I don't usually buy organic. I don't have a problem with pesticides, I guess.
It's close to Christmas time, so it's a little bit tight right now.
Price does play a factor in it. We do purchase formula at least once a week.
I think good old-fashioned simple water works a lot better. I always buy the Loves. My son has a reaction to the Huggies.
Usually take the celery home, chop it up, mix it in a bowl with the carrots, and then have the hummus for dinner.
I've got frizzy, curly, dry hair, so the John Breed usually tends to work pretty well.
So a little bit of a shameless plug for us there, but as we leave, I want to leave you with this idea, this question here. So what's the missing piece of our research puzzle? And there's a couple different thoughts that I have about this. So first thought being that I want to leave you with is don't ever use the word hella. It's a very annoying word. But secondly, besides that, the term mobile research means just as much as the term market research. It's how you leverage the numerous methodologies that are available to us today that are going to make a difference and be disruptive in our businesses. Secondly, there are a lot of different mobile approaches out there today, and concoctions work, right? So when you make a good stew, you toss everything but the kitchen sink into it. And mixing and matching the different mobile approaches and the different traditional approaches that are out there, you're gonna make sure you're getting the most bang for your research buck. Lastly, the last thing I'm saying here is not that mobile research or newer methodologies are gonna overtake traditional research. In fact, I'm saying the exact opposite. So when combining these newer methods with tried and true traditional approaches like survey research or diaries, that's where the magic's gonna happen here. So you get what people are doing and why they're doing it. And if you're interested in any more, we're actually releasing with a few partners, including Paradigm, a research on research white paper about the differences in mobile apps and surveys versus via mobile apps versus surveys in mobile browsers. So that's it.